What's going on, third grade friends? Miss Bellafemini, Miss Iozia's room, Miss Vaughn's room. Good to kind of communicate with you guys right now. Haven't seen you guys in a long time. Really miss you. Um, just know that I miss being at school with you guys, seeing you guys in the hallway, maybe even out in the recess area. You know, crossing over Darian and schooling him in some basketball. But I do really miss you guys. Let's get into our math lesson today. We're doing 12-4. We're talking about fractions. Just know that in this part, we're talking about fractions on the number line. And the main thing to know about the number line is that the number line that we're dealing with is a number line starting with 0 and ending with 1, because all of these fractions that we're dealing with are less than 1. Okay, these fractions are going to equal up to a whole, and we're not going past the whole. So it's 0 to 1 on the number line when you're doing this. I'll have the video play. I'll stop at a certain times. I will go through the guided practice, and then I will end that quick, and then you guys be out in a few minutes. All right? So let's listen to the video, and we'll go along with this.
How can you record fractions on a number line? Think about this question during the lesson. Mr. Singer is picking up his daughter, Greta, from school to go to soccer practice. Greta's school is located at 3/4 of the distance from the Singer's house to the soccer field. How can you represent 3/4 on a number line?
Okay, so remember, we're thinking about 3/4 on a number line. See how they have their number line based already? They have 0 and 1. Okay, a couple ways you guys can do this. I just want to cut into this. You can either, when you're doing your number lines, you can either draw them on your paper. Okay, you can even use your fraction tile, because if you look at this number line right here, the fraction tile, the whole fraction tile could be that number line that you're using, and then use the fraction tiles underneath, whether it's fourths, which we're using here, sixths or eighths, and you could use them underneath to kind of create the sections off of the sections for the intervals of the number line. All right, or you could even use the math tools on Pearson to help you create your number lines. All right, just want you guys to know that. All right.
Every number on a number line represents a distance from 0.
What does the distance from 0 to 1 on the number line represent?
All right, take a minute real quick and think about that off this picture that you're seeing here and the question that they're asking. What does this number line represent? Starting from 0 and ending at 1, what is it representing? I'll give you guys a minute.
The distance from 0 to 1 on the number line represents the distance from Greta's house to the soccer field.
So we're representing from Greta's house to the soccer field. That's our area.
Draw a number line from 0 to 1. Which point on the number line represents the Singer's house? Select your answer.
So we're starting from 0 to 1. What does which point of the number will represent Singer's house? Okay, think about that for a minute. And we know that 0 is, because that's where we're starting, okay?
0 represents the Singer's house. 1 represents the distance from the Singer's house to the soccer field. Does it matter how far apart 0 and 1 are on the number line? What does the distance between 0 and 1 tell you?
Take a second and think about that. Does it matter between the distance from 0 and 1?
No, it does not matter how far apart 0 and 1 are on the number line. The distance between 0 and 1 tells you the length of the whole.
Now I'm going to pause that real quick so you guys kind of understand that. It doesn't matter, because everybody's number lines are going to be different. Whether you're drawing them, using the fraction tiles, or using the math tools on the computer, okay? So, for example, like in my room, if Abby Pontilla is drawing her number line might be a little longer, and but she'll have from 0 to 1. If in Miss Bellafemini's room, Bria's drawing her number line might be a little bit shorter. But you guys are both still representing that whole number. You guys still have the same whole from 0 to 1. It doesn't matter the size of that number line for right now, okay? It's going to matter about how you're doing the intervals in between, okay?
Step 2. Divide the distance from 0 to 1 into 4 equal parts.
Putting into 4 equal
Each
parts.
length is 1/4 of the whole distance between 0 and 1. Step 3. Start at 0. Draw a point at the end of the third fourth on the line. Write 3/4. This represents the distance from the singer's house to Greta's school.
All right. So basically, when you're doing this, they will give you all of these steps in your in your workbook, the fat book that we work in, so you guys can look at that. So step 1, you're drawing a number line at 0 to 1. The next step, which is the most important step, is creating the intervals. Okay, the sections or the regions, however you want to call it. And on this one, it's based off of fourths. So I need to make sure that I have 4 intervals. So and this is important, from 0 to 1, that's 1/4. From here to here, it's another fourth. That's 2/4. From here to here, that'll be 3/4. And then from here to here is 4/4, which is also my whole. Do not start your fourths with this interval, this first marker. It starts from 0 to that first marker, that hashtag, that tick, that tag, whatever you guys want to call it, the mark. That's where it starts, from that 0 to that 1. Okay. Looking into the student edition workbook, like I said, they'll give you all the information here that you can review if you want, how to do the steps to make your number line of fractions. Okay. Guided practice. So we'll do a couple of these real quick, and I'll let you guys go on your way and begin your math work. So it says Mila divides a number line from 0 to 1 into 6 equal parts. Okay, before I even go on and read the rest of this stuff, I know that I'm going to have a number line with 6 equal parts. So Mr. M is going to draw his number line. Now, Bria and everyone else and these other classes, don't make fun of me my number line. I can't draw that well here. The only thing I draw quite well, stick figures, my class will tell you. All right, so I know it's going to be from 0 to 1. All right, I'm going to go right here. It's going to be 1, and then this one's going to be 0, okay? Now, I know it's going to be 6 equal parts, so I'm dividing into 6, guys, okay? Try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is that last mark, okay? So remember that. Now, when you're looking at that, look how many tally marks that I have here. 0 has its own, right? So from here to 1, it's 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? So make sure you have 6 intervals, okay, guys? Make sure there's 6 intervals, and then you label them. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, and then so forth, okay? Now, make sure you're doing a number line no matter what, guys, all right? Even if you're like in your head, you're like, Mr. M, I got this. I know how to do this. I know you guys know how to do this, but it's important to do a number line because you're going to need this number line when we go into the next unit and we start adding and subtracting these fractions, okay? So now I can answer each question. What unit fraction represents each equal part? Based off of what we already know with the unit fraction, a unit fraction is 1 section. So the unit fraction here is going to be the 1/6, okay? Next question. There's multiple answers here. There's multiple questions that you need to answer. What should Mila label the tick mark just before the left, just to the left of 1? So I'll change the color so you guys can see that. So if I go from here, just to the left of 1, it's 5/6. I circle it. All right. Bottom one here, it's going to ask you the same thing. You would divide it into 8 equal parts. So now I got to do a new number line, 8 equal parts. The first one right after it, after the 0, is actually going to be 1/8, okay? So it's very important that you guys draw these number lines out or use your fraction tiles or you use the math tools, all right? Last section here, 3 and 4, they do the number line for me, so Mr. M doesn't have to draw his crooked, crazy line. So 0 to 1, it's 2 equal parts. This one's easy. 2 equal parts, I can just pop this down right in the middle. I have 2 equal parts. This is 1, this is another. And then you label it, so this will be 1/2, okay? Now, the next one, it says 4 equal parts. So if I come here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, guys. 3, and then this will be my 4th. So now look, I have 4 intervals. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm sorry, guys. 3, 4. Okay? So it's important to know that you have 4 sections or 4 intervals. Intervals are going to be very important. That's how they can label things. And then right down here, they want you to label the section 2/4. So if this was 1/4, this right here would be 2/4. All right? So in your practice buddy and your quick check, All of these questions are going to be based off your number lines. And just remember, the most important part of this lesson here is that it's not a whole number, okay? All of these fractions are less than 1. They're equaling up to a whole, okay? Use all of your information, please, guys. Your vocabulary, have it printed out, have it on your screen, fraction tiles laid out, your book, your graph paper, your pencils. You should be using the whole table when you do these lessons, all right? Good luck with the practice buddy and the quick check. I will see you guys soon in my next video. And just to say again, I miss you guys a lot. Know that all of your teachers, all of your aides, everyone here, we all love you a lot. And we're doing the best that we can to try and help you guys out with this tough time, especially with these math units. So remember, if you have any questions, ask your teachers in your Google Classroom. My class, you guys can ask your questions in our questions forum in Classroom. All right? Just like I tell my class all the time, peace, love, happiness. See you guys soon.